know how are we managing all these things. Something has to be done. आमकां समजना जाल्यार काल डिमांड्साचें हें सगळें उलयलाय आनी हे कॉलिंग लेटराचें पयलें
If you do not wish to move it, you can withdraw it.
No, I will move it. I will not withdraw. But there should be some management, no, when we are doing things. Attention.
Move the calling attention.
So I would like to move the calling attention. Should I read it? No.
Yes, of course you have to read it.
Attention of the House. Attention of the House is drawn to the state of unemployment in Goa, especially the youth, despite the claims of economic growth and development. Moreover, lack of guidance and support from government has the youth feeling helpless and disillusioned. The steps to government to give necessary access to resources and support to the youth to succeed.
Honorable Minister.
Yes, sir. I stand to answer to the calling attention raised by Honorable Member Captain Venzi Viegas. Speaker, sir, Department of Labour and Employment is proactive with the Directorate of Industries, Trade, Commerce and Directorate of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship to ensure that Goans get maximum opportunities for seeking employment in Goa. Under Regional Employment Exchange, the Model Career Center has organized job fair and placement drive to bridge the gap between job seekers and employers. In addition, career counseling, career guidance program, soft skill training sessions on civil service competitive exams, banking exams preparation, and entrepreneurship orientation programs have been organized in order to enhance the skills of job seekers as per market requirement. Therefore, the endeavor of the government is to connect all the job seekers, career aspirants across Goa with the relevant career and employment opportunities according to their skills, aptitude, qualification and interests, thus bringing talent closer to opportunities. The department is exploring for the state amendment of the Central Act, the Employment Exchange Compulsory Notification of Vacancies Act 1959 to bring more stringent mechanism of ensuring compliance by various companies and firms.
Speaker, sir, unemployment has been a big issue in our state. Every year there have been students passing out. Every year there has been vacancies that we are expecting, but भुरग्यांक series मेळना. Ani day by day our unemployment ratio is going high. Speaker, sir, मागता काल आमी भरपूर भासाभास केल्ली आहा. What is missing here is government job fairs. Government job fairs should be the next in this budget or till the 31st of March 2025. Government job fairs. आम जॉब फेअर्स कोताय ते प्रायवेटा आटाय आनी जॉब फेअर करूं सोताय. गव्हर्मेंटा गेले जॉब फेअर. PWD गे थिंग आसपा जाय वेकन्सी, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डिपार्टमेंट सगळे एकठांय जाय आनी तुमगे जॉब फेअर थिंग ते भाशेन कोराय सो दॅट इट इज इन अ व्हेरी ट्रान्सपरंट मॅनर. बिकॉज सर सेकंड थिंग इज वी वूड लायक टू सी the percentage in reduction of unemployment. Percentage in reduction of unemployment. गेल्या वर्सा कितू unemployment आले, ह्या वर्सा कितू unemployment जाला, तेची percentage वाडवल्या ओ देंवल्या आनी येत्या वर्साक 2025 कित प्लॅन आहा देंवोवपाक वो स्टॅटिस्टिक्स रेशियो म्हाका सदां काडपाची गरज आहा आनी हें काडलें जाल्यार वी विल एबल टू वर्क ऑन इट. नाव एज वी स्पोक yesterday during the demands, गव्हर्मेंट जॉब सगळ्या घरान दिवपाक तुमकडे तें जावपा ना. हर घर जल म्हणटाय तुमी, तें जलूय जाल ना दिवपाक. म्हाका सदां हर घर गव्हर्मेंट नोकरी म्हणटाय ती तुमकां जावपा ना. सो तें जर जायना जाल्यार वी हॅव टू मेक शुअर दॅट देर इज अ डिसंट जॉब इन ऑर्डर टू एन्श्योर द SDG गोल नंबर 1. काल जे भाशेन आमी सांगलोलें सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट गोल नंबर 1 इज नो पॉवर्टी. आणि नो पॉवर्टी जातो जाल्यार सस्टेनेबल गोल नंबर 1 अचीव जातो जाल्यार वी नीड टू हॅव दॅट वी हॅव गॉट हेल्दी जॉब्स अँड एवरीबडी गेट्स जॉब्स where the salary is very healthy. आज गोंयकार भुरगे भायर वयताय कित्याक आमकोडे हिंगा गोंयांत जॉब हेल्दी जॉब्स विथ गुड सॅलरी दिवपा जायना. जरी तरी आमकोडे हेल्दी जॉब्स विथ गुड सॅलरीज दिवपा जायना जाल्यार भायर वचपाचोय अरेंजमेंट तांकां ऑप्शन्स दिवपा जाय. जे भाशेन हिंग घायलां द गव्हर्मेंट इज नॉट इवन शोईंग गायडन्स हाऊ डू वी गो अब्रॉड. जरी तरी आज आमकां ह्या वर्साक समज एक 10,000 जॉब्स दिवपा आमकडे प्लॅन आहा जो गव्हर्मेंट जॉब्स आहा आनी 5,000 जॉब्स आमकां समज प्रायवेट सॅक्टरान गोंयां दिवपा जॉब्स आहा. 5,000 भुरग्यां भायर कितकोन वयतले. वाय आय एम सेईंग लायक दिस इज बिकॉज आवर गोवन बॉयज लायक टू गो ऑल्सो ऑन द शिप आनी हांव शिपींग बॅकग्रावंडांतलो. I can bring shipping companies to Goa. I have already started. I am taking initiative. Chief Minister is aware of these initiatives and he has also appreciated that we are bringing shipping companies to Goa. So zat zalyar I think we should identify a space. If you can give us space, I will start getting shipping companies to open up offices in Goa. Give them space. आमको जर तर जाग दिवपा जाता, एक फ्लोरू दिवपा जाता, हुंचे बिल्डिंगा आय डोंट नो कलेक्टरेट बिल्डिंगा जागा आहा जाल्यार तो अलॉट करूं जाता जाल्यार हुंचे गव्हर्मेंट हितून जर तर आमकां एक अलॉट करूं जाता जाल्यार क्युबिकल्स इंटरव्यू घेवपाक फिक्स स्पेस नो नॉट फॉर इंटरव्यूज फॉर परमनंट फिक्स. ना हांव गव्हर्मेंटा जॉब जावं उलयना. गव्हर्मेंटा जॉब जावं उलयना. हांव शिपींग कंपनीज गोंयां हाडपाक वेर दे वील स्टार्ट giving jobs to Goans. So ते जरी तरी येतो जाल्यार we have to give them space, licensing office करपाक. So give us space, we will bring in at least 10 to 15 companies here who would like to come and get stationed. So this will help. Give me space, I will get in all the companies where they will have permanent space. So this will help in order to reduce.
Any other member? Michael Lobo.
स्पीकर सर, काल हें बरें व्हडलें डिस्कशन जाल्लें पूण मिनिस्टर रिप्लाय करूंक पावना कित्याक लेट जाल्ली. तेणें खाली रिप्लाय रीड केला.
हांवें सांगलें हांव रिप्लाय कोत्ता म्हणून तेणी सांगलें नाका म्हणून. हांवें लेट जावं ना.
लेट जाल्ली, लेटूय जाल्ली. स्पीकर सर, म्हाजो एक पॉयंटेड एक क्वेश्चनूय आनी एक सजेशनूय आहा तुका की हांवें काल सांगलेलें की आमचे गोंयचे भुरगे कितलेशेच शिकता, जे आमचे यूथ आहा स्कुलान गेले, कॉलेजीन गेले, शिकले, अनएम्प्लॉयड उरता. दे आर इन सर्च ऑफ गव्हर्मेंट जॉब सगल्यांक मेळचे ना. 45,000-50,000 जॉब्स. ते रिटायरमेंट जाल्या उपरांतूच एक जॉब येयला जाल्यार कितलेशेच भुरगे येता. 15,000 भुरगे येता. एक 5 जॉब्सांक 15,000 भुरगे येता. म्हणजे इट इज बिकमिंग अ प्रॉब्लम. So why we are not considering and why you are not under your department? म्हणजे हे सगळे जे आमचे स्किल्ड जॉब्स आहा, वेदर इट इज हांवें काल सांगलें तुका एज अ इलेक्ट्रिशियन, प्लंबर, हे सगळे हिंकां भुरग्यांक आमचे शिकोवन तांकां कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर जावपाक जाता. आयज आमचे गोंयान कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर कोण आहा? भायले आहा. दे आर नॉट गोवन्स. ऑल दीस कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर्स हू आर हियर टुडे, वेदर दे आर पेंटर्स, वेदर दे आर कार्पेंटर्स, वेदर दे आर ऑल द स्किल्ड जे लेबर जाय पडटा, हे कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर भायले आनी तेंच्या अंडर थोडे जाण गोंयकार आमचें काम करता. पूण आमचे भुरग्यांक ही सर्टिफिकेट तूं शिकय तांकां आनी सर्टिफिकेट दी. तांकां हे सगळो ट्रेड शिकय. मेसन आसूं तो, मेसन आसूं, कार्पेंटर आसूं, प्लंबर आसूं, पेंटर आसूं, वेगवेगळे ह्या स्ट्रिम्स आहा पळय. कुशन मेकर आसूं न्ही, म्हणजे कुशन घालपाचे कितलेच जाण लागता. म्हणजे आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट कुशन्स फॉर दीस चेअर्स, सोफा कुशनिंग. म्हणजे हो व्हडलो कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट जाता मागीर तो. फायनली यू मेक देम कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर्स. आमचे गोवन बॉयज शूड लर्न दीस एज अ स्कील. हितून सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट क्रिएट करूंक जाता. वील यू कन्सिडर दीस टू एज अ सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट बिजनस सो दॅट अ गोवन बॉय ऑर अ गर्ल कॅन बिकम अ बीग कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर आफ्टर लर्निंग दीस, आफ्टर गेटींग युअर सर्टिफिकेट. हांव म्हणटा स्कील एम्प्लॉयमेंट, स्कील डेव्हलपमेंट आहा, पूण ना तशें. हांव जें उलयता तशें ना. ते तुज्या डिपार्टमेंटान करूंक शकता काय तूं? हे ना, एम्प्लॉयमेंट जे आहा, एम्प्लॉयमेंट म्हणजे भुरग्यां अनएम्प्लॉयड उरत आहा आनी देन दे वॉन्ट टू गो टू मुंबय, बेंगलोर, थिंगा वयता ते कामाक 20-25 हजारांक. ते गोंयानूच करूंक शकता. थोडे जाण भायर वचोंक सोदता. गोंयानूच जावंक शकता की आमी गव्हर्मेंट कितें इनिशिएटीव घेतले हें करपाक. इतलेंच दिसता.
वीरेश बरकर.
स्पीकर सर, काल हेजेर डिस्कशन जालें, खूब जाण आमचे कलिग्स आसा तेंच्यांनी उलयले. आतां अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट हो सगळ्यांकून मेजर इश्यू गोंयांत आसा आनी यूथ तुमी पळयता आसतले गोंयचे यूथ आयज सामके डिप्रेस जाल्ले आसा, कामां मेळना म्हणून. आयज प्रायवेट सॅक्टरान गव्हर्मेंट सॅक्टरान तुमी पळयता गव्हर्मेंटान पासून हजारांनी एप्लिकेशन आसता, प्रायवेटानूय कितलीशीं एप्लिकेशन आसता. आनी आयज गोंयांत 18 इंडस्ट्रियल स्टेट्स आसा. आतां इंडस्ट्रियल स्टेट हाडपाचें कारण कितें आहलें? कारण आहलें की एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट जावपाक जाय, बिजनस ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी जनरेट जावपाक जाय. मात स्पीकर सर आतां तें खंयच दिसून येना स्पीकर सर. आनी जेन्ना काल मिनिस्टरान रिप्लाय दिल्लो आसा त्या रिप्लायान सांगलां की आमी प्रायवेट सॅक्टरान गोंयकारांक रिजर्वेशन करूंक शकना म्हणून. आतां रिजर्वेशन करपाक शकना एक हें म्हटलं डायरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट जालो, आवट जालो. आतां भुरग्यांनी करपाचें तरी कितें? जेन्ना इंडस्ट्रीन जेन्ना एप्लिकेशन घालता मिनिस्टरान आयकोन घेवपाचें. एक कोणान CV घातली, CV एप्लिकेशन घातलें, थंय काम दिना, भायल्यांक जाय तशें वेकन्सी करता. कोण इंडस्ट्री आसा, खंयची एक इंडस्ट्री आसा ती कंपनी भायर हें करता, इंटरव्यूज कंडक्ट करता, गोंयांत करना. आतां गोंयांत सगळे इंडस्ट्री आसा, गोंयचो रिसोर्सीस यूज करता, लँड आमचो आसा, उदक आमचें आसा, पावर सप्लाय आमचो आसा, रोड ट्रान्सपोर्टेशन आमचो आसा, सगळें आमी दिता, प्रोवायड करता. गोंय सरकाराचो जो पयसो आसा हे डेव्हलपमेंट इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया डेव्हलप करपाक पयसो वयता. मात आमच्या युथांक स्पीकर सर थंय कामात मेळना. जावं धंदो पासून उद्योग म्हणजे धंदो जेन्ना थोडे जाण आतां आजून पासून म्हाका सांगता, कितलेच जाणांक फोन मारता, बसी थोड्यांनी घातलेल्यो बसी काडून उडयता, कॅन्टीन कोणान घातलेले कॅन्टीन काडून उडयता आनी सगळे भायल्यांक दिता. आनी हेजेर जो हें आसा म्हणल्यार एम्प्लॉयमेंट डिपार्टमेंटाचो कंट्रोल म्हणटा तो मात्तूय ना. आनी हेका लागून आजून पर्यंत स्पीकर सर जो डिपार्टमेंटान स्ट्रीक्ट एक्शन करपाक जाय आसलें. आयज कितल्योश्यो कंप्लेनी मिनिस्टरा कडेन वयता, डिपार्टमेंटा कडेन वयता, मात तेजी एक्शन कांयच जायना. आतां भुरग्यांनी म्हटल्यार तरणाटे जे भुरगे आयज पास आवट जाता, कोण ग्रॅज्युएशन, पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएशन, इंजिनियरींग करता, टेक्निकल एड्युकेशन करता, ते करपाचें तरी कितें? आयज ITI जे करता, स्कील डेव्हलपमेंट म्हणटा आमी, CM खूब फावटी म्हणटा, अपस्किलिंग रिस्किलिंग, ती ते पासून केल्या ऑलमोस्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू LQ 30-32% ते कामां मेळटा, बाकी सगळे बेकार उरता. सो अशी जी हें आसा तितून खंय ना खंय 100% आमी आमचेच म्हणल्यार गव्हर्मेंट ITI जे आसा तितूनच्याच भुरग्यांक आमी इंडस्ट्रीन कित्याक लावपाक शकना? कित्याक लागून तो हें करपाक शकना? दुसरें म्हणजे आतां मिनिस्टरान रिप्लाय दिल्या की करियर कावन्सिलींग, करियर गायडन्स प्रोग्राम, सॉफ्ट स्कील ट्रेनिंग सेशन्स ऑन सिव्हिल सर्वीस कॉम्पिटंट एग्जाम्स, बँकिंग एग्जाम्स प्रिपेरेशन एंड एंटरप्रिनरशीप ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम. हांव मुद्दम विचारपाक सोदता कित्याक हें हांगा बरयलां तेजेर आयकोपाक बरें दिसता, पण मेन म्हटल्यार कितें आसा, ग्रावंड रियलिटी कितें आसा? ग्रावंड रियलिटीचेर इतले प्रोग्राम कांयच जायना. स्पीकर सर, म्हाका आन्सर मिनिस्टरा कडेन जाय की कितले प्रोग्राम टोटल कंडक्ट जाल्या, कित्याक आजून पर्यंत आमच्या ग्रॅज्युएटेड भुरगे आसा तांकां आजून पर्यंत खबरूच ना. खुबशा भुरग्यांक आजून पर्यंत खबर ना की कसल्यो कसल्यो एग्जामी आसा, कशें आमी फुडें वयतले हें आजून पर्यंत खबर ना. सो हें जे समज करता नाल्यार ते पयलूच करपाक जाय. जेन्ना फायनल इयराक भुरगे जेन्ना आसता तेन्ना ते प्रोग्राम कंडक्ट जावपाक आनी तांकां पयलूच खबर आसपाक जाय आमी कितें आन्सर करतले. मात तें जायना स्पीकर सर. आनी खंय ना खंय आयज डिपार्टमेंट CMानूय चिंतपाक जाय की भुरगे आयज तरणाटे जे आसा ते करतले तरी कितें? कित्याक जो फेज आसता, जो इम्पॉर्टंट पिरियड आसता, एक 21 वर्सांचेर समज पास आवट जालो, 21 वर्सां जावन मागीर फुडलो पिरियड आसता, 30 वर्सां पासून समज काम मेळना नाल्यार तेंचो फ्युचर म्हणटा तो काबार जालो. ते मागीर सोरो पिवपाक पडटा, ड्रग्स घेवपाक पडटा, आनी कितें वायट व्यसनान पडटा. सो हें खंय ना खंय आमी कमी करतले, नाल्यार हो डिपार्टमेंट एग्रेसीव रावपाक खूब गरजेचो आसा आनी एग्रेसिवली काम करपाचें गरजेचें आसा. आनी ताका लागून रिजर्वेशन जें आसा हें खूब गरजेचें आसा. नाजाल्यार स्पीकर सर कोणूय येता, दुसरे स्टेटींचे येता, आमी एवरी टायम हें सांगलेलें आसा, दुसरे स्टेटींचे येवन आमचे जॉब्स घेवन वयता. भुरग्यांनी वयचें खंय? दुसरे आतां गोंयच्या भुरग्यांक दुसरे स्टेटीन वयचें पडटा, दुसरे कंट्रीन वयचें पडटा. तारवटी आयज कितलेशे जाण वेन्जी बाबान सांगलें कितलेशे जाण तारवटी आसा. कित्याक गोंयांत जॉबां आसून मेळना स्पीकर सर. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आमी फार्मास्युटिकल हितून पळयता आसतना जे फार्मासी पास जाता तांकांच आयज फार्मास्युटिकल हितून कामां मेळना. कितलेशे जाण भुरगे आसा, 60 वेकन्सीज हे 60 स्टुडंट पास आवट जाता, तितूनचे आतां कितले 440 पोस्ट धपक्याक एक फार्मास्युटिकल कंपनी काडटा. मात तांकां भितूर घेयना. हें खंय ना खंय कंपल्सरी करपाक जाय, कित्याक आमी हांगा शिकयता, भुरगे हांगा शिकोवन कितें बेकार उरता. सो हांव नको, आमी हांगा डिस्कशन हेच्या पयलूय खुबशीं केल्लीं आसा, आतांय करता, फुडेंय करीत उरतले. पण आयज खंय ना खंय आमी समज लक्षांत घेयना की ह्या तरणाट्यांक आयज आमची गरज आसा. मिनिस्टरान लक्षांत घेवपाक जाय, CMान लक्षांत घेवपाक जाय की हांकां गरज आसा. समज आमी हें लक्षांत घेवन एक प्रायोरिटीचेर एक कायदो हाडलो आनी कायदे हाडला ते पालन करून खंय ना खंय हांकां स्ट्रिक्ट हे जितले इंडस्ट्री आसा तांकां स्ट्रिक्टली इम्प्लिमेंट, जावं ते हॉटेल इंडस्ट्री आसा तांकां स्ट्रिक्टली इम्प्लिमेंट करपाक जाय की आमच्या भुरग्यांक घेवपाक जाय म्हटल्यार घेवपाक जाय. आयज कित्याक घेयना? आमी सगळे प्रोवायड करता, कित्याक लागून घेयना? आमी भुरगे शिकले, सगळे शिकोन पासून बेकार आसा. आनी काम विलींग करता, काम करपाक सोदता तरी पूण घेयना. आमचे फुड्यान कितल्यो CV येता, मात ते म्हणटा आमी घेवपाक शकता. तेंचे HR म्हणटा आमचे नॉर्म्स आसा. कसले नॉर्म्स आसा स्पिकर सर? गोंयकारांक घेवपाचे नॉर्म्स आसा, गोंयकारांक घेवपाचे ना म्हणून नॉर्म्स केल्ले आसा स्पेशल स्पिकर सर. सो हे आमचेर अन्याय आसा गोंयकारांचेर. सो म्हाका दिसता मिनिस्टरान CMान मेळोन खंय ना खंय आमचे गोंयकारांच्या भुरग्यांचेर जे अन्याय जाता हेजो खंय ना खंय ठोस उपाय काडपाक जाय. नाजाल्यार अशेंच चालू उरतले, आमी भाशणां दीत उरतले आनी भाशणां दिवन गोंय हें सोंपतलें, गोंयकार सोंपतले आनी गोंयकार तरणाटे जे आसा तांकां भायर वयचें पडटलें.
Nilesh Kabra.
Speaker sir, I rise to speak on the calling attention mood of my colleague Venzi Bab. Speaker sir, I read the answer. The department is exploring for a state amendment to the Central Act, the Employment Exchange Notification Vacancies Act 1959. Speaker sir, if the act is of the center and the state, it is compulsory that every company who has got above 25 employees have to write to your employment exchange.
Reducing it down.
No, I'm just saying 25 employees, whether it is not mentioned contractual or regular, employees in the company, what you are trying to reduce and see. But see what happens, Speaker sir, that the company has to write to the employment exchange. The employment exchange has to, as per suitable people, have to send the call letters. They have to send a list, like how government it does. They have to send to the private individuals. They have to take the interview. Whether they take or not take is a different subject matter. That is one. If they don't do, they have a fine of 10,000 rupees.
500 rupees it was.
No, it is increased in 2016.
Now we are increasing.
No, it is central government has increased to 10,000. That provision when they removed section for, it is there. It is there. I can, if you want, I can read it out to you. I'll read it out to you if you want. Speaker sir, I can read it out, Honorable Minister. The Act also requires to provide returns relating to the employee situation, information collected by employment exchange accessible. And in case they provide, then it is 10,000 rupees, Speaker sir. Speaker sir, my contention to Honorable Minister, every time we speak about labor and employment, and it comes to Honorable Minister as he is a Minister of Labor and Employment. But what has happened, Speaker sir, that how do we do? I have seen Honorable CM do a nice job last time. That one, he has given more than 15,000 apprentice schemes. Apprentice was there before also. And apprentice is there in private also. But how many such people in a private institute have taken apprentice? How many people have gone? That I think some data should be taken. In the government is all full. They get from 8,000, 10,000, 12,000 rupees what Honorable CM. And looking at this move, central government in the last budget, yesterday's budget has also made these provisions. It's a good thing, sir. And they are giving for 1 year to the private employees the salary, minimum salary, up to 1 lakh rupees, Speaker sir. I think we can also look into that angle where Honorable CM can look now, since he has already started the movement, wherein we can give them subsidies if they take local employment in the electrical bill, in the water bill, some sort of a subsidy element that if local employment is taken, because we can't force. What you said in your reply yesterday is that you can't force them to take. I know you cannot force them. They can only be requested to be taken. But every individual today is looking at profits. Every individual is looking at his part of profit. And as rightly pointed out yesterday by my colleagues, that one GM comes from some state and then he removes all the other employees from Goa. Speaker sir, Raj Makadista, we have to look at a holistic angle, giving them the benefits in such a way that all local people are employed. Today, if you go to see, you find in Verna industrial estate, such a big industrial estate, so many companies are working. But if you go to see how many such Goans are working there, and how long they are working there, and what type how they are working, I think we have to look into this angle, sit with Honorable CM, find some solutions to take them on Indian hotel industry. Today, Michael Bab is there. In his constituency, so many hotels are there. So what I am saying, even the hotel industry, people study, and the hotel industry do not take people because they took the experience and they go on the ship. But then if we incentivize them, give them something, we can work out on a solution. I think holistically, we have to look at it. Today, if you see admissions, give me 2 more minutes, admissions in the colleges, engineering colleges has dropped. So many students are there, vacancies to be filled, and there are no takers for this, some of the courses. Why is that, Speaker sir? Speaker sir, I think we have to look at it holistically. Now the word holistically I am using from yesterday. What I am trying to tell is we have to work together to really find a solution to our problem. I know that some ministers or MLAs are bringing buses, keeping buses to bring employees even up to Bamuli and bringing from there to even Verna. So that some people can afford to. But I think holistically we should look into finding the solutions of to this problem. Because employment is a real issue. Now let us see what Honorable CM has done and made these people employable, like giving them 1 year training in government, almost 15,000 people. Now they have, from this month, last month, they are completing 1 year. So these people can be recommended in one of these situations. So I would like you to kindly see into this matter and find a practical solution so that the Goan youth today are employable and unemployed directly by the company instead of getting second, third company contract. Under a company contract, they have been taken, Speaker Sir. Thank you, Speaker Sir.
Alice Lawrence.
Speaker Sir, I am not a very senior MLA, but successive governments I have seen. And the issue is that whether we can employ our people or not. Successive governments, successive MLAs. When I was a new MLA also, I spoke. But now we have reached a stage where I think the minister should tell whether we can employ or we can't employ, why we can't employ, what is the reason, why we can't employ in the factories, or when in the companies, or in private. I will add to what Honorable colleague, my colleague, Honorable MLA Kabra said. He said that there are buses to bring some government servants in particular institutions like GMC, Secretariat. There is a bus coming from one constituency. There are not only bus coming from two constituencies. There is a bus coming from, so Honorable Leader of the Opposition, let me finish. I will like to say that there is a bus coming. Kadamba has been stopped. Kadamba has been stopped for its use for public, and a Kadamba is put to bring government servants, both in the GMC and here. Please verify this. If you want, I will give details of the bus number. I will give you everything. It doesn't augur well for me to say. It is their luck. But it has to be luck of the others also. When it comes to government service. Now, when it comes to private, please, Honorable Minister of Labour, please clear out. Because continuously we can't. We have to reach a stage. If we can't, what is the solution? What is the path ahead? We can't keep talking the same thing again and again and again and again. Waste the precious time of the House. So I would request the Minister, be clear. Come with a clear-cut proposal, what is going to be our plan ahead of future. Otherwise, it's going to be a talk for the gallery. There are so many children here in the gallery. They also should know. So I would request the Honourable Speaker to request the Honourable Minister to quite clear these things. Thank you, Speaker, sir.
Rodolfo Fernandez.
Sir, एम्प्लॉयमेंटाचेर उलयतना एक सांगपाचें की जेन्ना भुरगीं आमच्या कॉलेजीन शिकता जी भुरगीं शिकता तेन्ना तांकां कंपनीनी जावं गव्हर्मेंट हॉस्पिटल जावं फॅक्टरीज आनीक हॉटेल जावं कितें अशें जेन्ना तांकां रिक्वायरमेंट आसता तेन्ना हे कंपनीनी जावं गव्हर्मेंटान तांकां इस्कॉलान डायरेक्ट इस्कॉलान जेन्ना पळय ती पास आवट जावपाची आहा तेन्ना तांकां सिलेक्ट करपाची आनी तांकां एम्प्लॉय करपाची. हेतून जाता कितें स्पीकर सर, जेन्ना ती घरा येता आनी तांकां तर एक गॅप पडत 1 वर्साची जावं 2 वर्साची जाल्यार ताका मागीर संवय जाता घरात बसपाची. ताका लागून आवट एंड आवट तांकां तर जॉबाक लायत जाल्यार हें चडांत चड बरें जातलें. ताका लागून एक सजेशन आहलें गव्हर्मेंटाक, हें जाता थंय भुरग्यांक हें चडांत चड बरी फॅसिलिटी मेळटल्यो. थँक्यू.
Honorable Minister.
I'll just add, I won't speak long because कालच्या दिसाक आम उलयलें. Honorable Minister has said that it is not possible to give 80% reservation in the private sector. Speaker sir, this menace of unemployment is something that is happening in the country, but specifically we are the second highest in the country with regards to the unemployment figures. With Niti Aayog, CMI, they have certified this double engine Sarkar of the failure with...
Speaker sir, point of order. Niti Aayog has not certified. The CMI is a private body. Niti Aayog has not.
Speaker sir, I will place what I said. I will place Planning and Statistics Department also has given figures saying that our average is 3.2% higher than the national average. This is the certificate given to the double engine Sarkar. Speaker sir, आज प्रश्न जो आहा, yesterday we spoke, and how does it start? I believe that recently Chief Minister has made an announcement that 2 lakh jobs will be given. So on what basis was this promise made? 2 lakh job ditle mu.
2 लाख जॉब आसा म्हटल्यार दितले म्हणून
स्पीकर सर आसा आम्हाला दिवपा नाही ते कितें
दिवपाचे ते.
मागीर तेच मूलभूत
दिवपाचे,
मागीर स्पीकर सर मुखेलमंत्रीन म्हाका दिसपा जाय फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेबर एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिनिस्ट्री जे रिकॉर्ड आहले ते रिकॉर्ड काडपा तुम सर्क्युलर काडलो दॅट दे शूड स्टॉप. स्पीकर सर क्रायमा कितें जाता क्रायमा जेन्ना क्रायम ओन करूंक जाय तेन्ना FIR रजिस्टर जायना. स्पीकर सर म्हाका दिसता की this coming to the point, the rise of these figures, Speaker sir, is a collective thing because of the closure of the MSMEs that has happened, because of the faulty policies, demonetization, regressive GST policy. All these things are part of the double engine sarkar. Speaker sir, जे micro establishment आशिल्ले काबराल बाब हे दिसान म्हाका दिसता बरें आहा मो 7 तारखे हाटल्या सारकी हें जालो आहा 2 दीस जालीं बरें उतर दिल दिसत म्हाका. स्पीकर सर जे सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंटाचे जे आहा this basically if you look at the
8 वर्सां जाली.
Because sir there are a lot of faulty policies. I'll give an instance. Investment promotion board ache lakhs of square meters of land was given and investment was promised. How many jobs are given and how many jobs are given to Goans? I think today we will speak on it in detail. But Speaker sir, basically if you look at instances, I believe jenna te farmache jenna 3 companies advertised the post outside Goa, Chief Minister had to intervene. Then they released a statement after Chief Minister intervening. Why they are not informing you in the first place about these positions? Why is the Employment Exchange not aware? What action you have taken on CIPLAs or N-Cube when they are advertising our position? Can you take action? Okay, you can't take as per the law. Speaker sir, job fair mudila. Job fairak you have spent, I think so 3.5 crores or something. 3.5 crores, 21,780 applications to be precise, and 530.
2,000. Yesterday I gave a listing.
No, your reply is the 500 and something. I will give you that also. Now old reply is pertaining to the same job fair. Did you have another job fair?
Total what we said as far as this placement.
Because sir, I am speaking specifically from the replies. And you had 33 placement drives all over the state. In that 33 placement drives, I asked you.
43.
33.
43 there.
किती 33 मग कालची दिसाक आन्सर आहा मरे हांव मागीर yesterday it was 33. Of these 33, I'll give you गाड्या आसतले 33 जे आहले placement drives. Of that 33 placement drive, about 200 people jobs were given. I asked
2120 offers are given.
Are Speaker sir, kalchi these are 200 ali which the minister agreed. Out of which how many now maglo hai kal. Tu modo mare now nai mutu kar kalu. E ratyam bhi to change wale. Mas hoban na. Speaker sir, kalchi these I raised this and it is not the way. I'll show you your reply. I'm not varya mana far and poke far no. Speaker sir, so I would like to stress this is a very, very serious issue. And let's not politicize it. But in general, if you look, how is the Goa government serious? If you all are serious, what are the ways, where are the avenues, whether employment generated across the state, don't tell me through IPB. IPB, so much is lying idle. It has not happened. What are the other avenues that you are looking at? I agree that Sogla Sarkari Nokri government jobs cannot be given. But what have you done in the private sector? Because if you look at whatever job fairs, the way, it is only looking like an event, nothing else more than an event. So, very, very seriously, Jen, data to koha. For instance, you said that about 1,16,000 people were unemployed that applied to the online portal. I had asked you yesterday whether the 1,16,000, what data you have, what is their future now? This is what you had given me last day, the reply. So, Magadista, hui na hui, it is the collective responsibility of this government. There is a failure. Let us accept it and let us work towards it. If the central government ani tunjmot zoritori kai cholna, ati kalchi disak kai melna goy pasodan kai finance kai na kesli suvidha na kaich na. So magadista hui na hui. Let the minister reply to us that If we are serious and give us a time-bound thing, here pod anka label mela, second highest unemployed state in the country, what are the things they are doing to improvise the position?
Honorable Minister.
Yes, sir. Government is making all-out efforts as far as the employment to Goans youth are concerned. So, as far as, see, programs have been conducted by employment exchange as far as career guidance, entrepreneurship, civil service competitive banking, soft skill training. 272 such programs has been conducted. You had asked me the same. And placement drives, job fairs, it is total 43. Sorry. 43.
And how many were placed, jobs were placed?
Yesterday I had given a thing, total out of these, whatever this placement and job fairs, we managed to get around 2,000 jobs. That is, yesterday I had given you answer for that.
Offer had given already.
For 2,000. Now, as far as,
Now, nahi.
see, as far as government is concerned, government had come up with a scheme to, as far as to employ local youths, Goan youth. That is an industrial policy which has come out, and there was a scheme, employment subsidy scheme, where you get all micro, small, medium, large manufacturing units, hinterland eco-tourism project in lesser developed talukas, which are employing minimum 60% regular Goan employees, being paid minimum salary of rupees 8,000 per month are eligible. The benefits are reimbursement of 50% of the salary paid to Goan eligible youth pertaining to micro, small, medium unit, and reimbursement of 25% of salaries paid to Goan eligible employees for large units as per proportionate specified in the scheme. Subsidy amount of rupees 53.88 lakhs was released so far. Now, important thing is, out of these, even after announcing this scheme, it is only 4 companies basically who has availed of this scheme. Now, why this thing? I'll give it anyway, I don't know. It is only four companies. Government is doing all efforts basically as far as to, so that Goan youth basically gets benefit and gets employment.
Why they are advertising their post outside?
No, as far as advertisement, there was 2 companies which had advertised their post outside. We have already issued them Indico, Pharma, and N-Cube. Show cause notice has already been issued to them, and a case has been filed by in JMFC. And plus, we have come up with this thing. First, there was this thing that if anyone defaults as far as this act is concerned, where advertise this thing outside is concerned, the fine was 500 rupees. So it was becoming very convenient actually for them. Even if they advertise and they paying a fine of 500 had no meaning whatsoever. So we have amended basically that this thing, that we have increased the fine to 10,000 rupees, 1 lakh, and plus a fine, plus an imprisonment also we have done that. See,
I would just like to add that pharmaceutical company under Essential Service Act padala, Mukhil Mantri bought a bill. They basically use that as disguise, as a weapon. And they are retrenchments all of that. Duraline, for example, is a classic example, where they are using them, transferring them under Essential Service Act, and they are transferring them to Kashmir, Sikkim, you need to...
See, sometimes there is a policy of the company. We cannot interfere into the policy of the company.
No, but they are doing that to all our Goans.
Once you sign, now it is even government job. Once you sign a government job also, once you take a government job, it's clearly you got to give undertaking that wherever you are basically transferred, you got to go. So same thing, there must be a policy as far as the companies are concerned. Now, what is that?
Under Essential Service Act, they are using that to their advantage.
You are talking about these pharma companies?
Yes.
No, but see, it must be within their company rules, what they are doing. We cannot basically stop, or we cannot directly interfere in the country.
You can.
We
How
cannot
you send them
no, no,
notices.
we
You
cannot-
have sent them notices the way, same way you act.
No.
Be little strict with
No,
them.
but I don't believe that we can interfere in that this thing where as far as their transfers things are concerned.
not saying
That must be a policy of the company. See, that's what I'm trying to say. It is wrong basically for you all to say that we are not doing any efforts as far as to see that Goans are employed.
We are not saying
going-
the figures are saying they did. No, we are not
the
saying.
figures, see, we have not actually disputed those figures. It was important that our department basically should have filed this thing as far as it was, that whatever the survey what they had done, it was a wrong survey. And the survey was not done by Niti Aayog. They had, I think, appointed some. They had appointed some
Statistics has
people.
released the figure just 3-4 months back.
I know, we are aware of that, but that is a wrong figure what we are trying to
That
get.
double
See,
engine
no one.
figure is wrong.
See, now if you go to
From
now-
Delhi, it is the
Private, not by double
figure,
engine.
figure is wrong.
EMI.
We have already returned to them.
Planning and statistics
We have
are figure
already
wrong
returned to them.
EMI.
We have already returned to them basically to say that whatever figure that they have got through whichever company or whichever survey they have done, that figure
planning and
that we are disputing that figure. Now, as far as employment is concerned, you don't see 1 lakh. If you say 1 lakh or 16,000 youth, then you would find everyone idle roaming around. It is not so. It is as far as the government jobs are concerned. Even if someone has a private job, no one wants to remove their names from the employment exchange. This thing. So if these people, whoever are employed, now suppose in my staff only, my staff there must be 10 people who are employed, but their names will still figure in the employment exchange as job seekers. So that is the problem. What is happening? That is the reason this figure basically remains high. See, the duty of the department and the duty of the public also, no? Basically to see that someone else should also get an opportunity. See, even if you call them, sometimes they don't say that they are employed.
Department
That also becomes a
asked
problem. They don't want to say because they are looking out for government jobs.
तशें म्हणूंक शकना न्हू जेन्ना डिपार्टमेंटा कडेन डेटा आसा डेटा डिपार्टमेंट should call up and inquire whether you are employed or you are not
Department
employed.
has got called the data.
Nobody will tell. कोणूच सांगची ना आपूण जावन आपूण येवन कोणूच सांगची ना की आपणाक जॉब मेळ्ळो
Department has got,
डिपार्टमेंट
no,
विचारपाक
that's
जाय
the reason I'm saying department has got data, department has got all their details. But what happens once, sometimes when there may be 10 people who tells out of 100 people, other people say no, we are still unemployed, although they are being employed. It is not that they are not employed.
That's the reason there is an employment card letter, no? ते हे letter असता तितून तुम्ही letter धाडपाक जाय न्हू तांकां previously how you used to send the letters.
Letter,
मेळोंक ना जाल्यार आतां ते जायना.
letter, see, only the names who have got government jobs, their names
No,
basically have
private
been
jobs
deleted.
also,
Only
you can
their
send
names
the
have been
letter.
deleted from the employment exchange.
ना प्रायव्हेट जॉब्स बसून लेटर धाडपाक शकता तुम्ही. It is
See,
not
we
like,
are
because it is
see,
registered with employment exchange.
See, we are taking all out efforts as far as the employment of Goan youth is concerned.
No, one
We
more
are
thing.
See, we are in the government, we are concerned because we want to see that our youth basically are employed.
No, आतां आनी एक सांगले पळय जो मिनिमम
Speaker
जे
sir,
एम्प्लॉयमेंट
Speaker sir.
मिनिमम वेजीस
Speaker sir.
एकूच जे मिनिमम वेजीस सांगले पळय 8,000 कोणूच रावची ना जो आतां ती
Speaker
स्कीम
sir.
काडले म्हणटा पळय तितून 8,000 कोण रावची ना सो ती
स्पीकर सर
मिनिमम
ऑनरेबल एमएलए हाजेर ऑलरेडी उलयल्या स्पीकर सर हो बॉब बेन्झी एमएलए हाणें हो कॉलिंग एटेन्शन हाडला आमच्या मिनिस्टरान ताका बरें उत्तरूय दिलां वेवस्थीत रित्या हांव थोडेशें आनीक हायलायट करता इट इज अ इंटर डिपार्टमेंट द लेबर एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्कील डेव्हलपमेंट इंडस्ट्रीज अशी सगळी डिपार्टमेंटां ताका लिंक आसा म्हणून हांव एक्चुअली फॅक्ट जो आसा पळय न्ही इन एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीन कोणूय रजिस्टर्ड कित्याक करता आपल्याक गव्हर्मेंट जॉब मेळपाक जायो म्हणून एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीन रजिस्टर्ड करता जाका 15 years रेजिडन्स कंपल्सरी आसा 12वी पास जालो काय डायरेक्टली तो वचोन 18 वर्साचेर एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीन रजिस्टर्ड करता आपल्याक गव्हर्मेंट नोकरी जायी ताज्या उपरांत तो ग्रॅज्युएशन करता ताज्या उपरांत तो पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएशन करता ताज्या उपरांत ताका प्रायवेट नोकरी मेळटा प्रायवेट नोकरी मेळ्ळ्या उपरांत सुद्दां तो आपलो नांव काडिना कारण आमच्या गव्हर्मेंटाच्या रुलांत आसा जेन्ना गव्हर्मेंट जॉब तुका एप्लाय करता तेन्ना तुका एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीचें कार्ड एटॅच करपाक जाय आनी हो कंपल्सरी रूल आसा सिन्स फ्रॉम द बिगिनींग कित्याक तर गोंयकाराकूच गव्हर्मेंट नोकरी मेळची म्हणून 15 वर्सां कंपल्सरी आनी म्हणून एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीचें कार्ड कंपल्सरी ताका लागून कोणूच आपलें नांव आपूण प्रायवेटान लागलो सुद्दां जाल्यार कॅन्सल कर म्हणना म्हणून शिकता आसतना जे रजिस्टर्ड करता पळय न्ही म्हणजे 12वी जाल्या उपरांत रजिस्टर्ड करता तें नांव कंटिन्युअसली ग्रॅज्युएट पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएट. आतां हांव फिगराचेर येता. 1,59,676 अकॉर्डिंग टू यू म्हणजे आमच्याय एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीन रजिस्टर्ड आसात. आमी जॉब जाय म्हणून. आतां जॉब जाय म्हणून आसतना तूं म्हणटा तसो आमी टॅलिफोनिकली आमी कन्फर्म केलें कितले भुरगे प्रायवेट नोकरेन आसा. सुरू आसा प्रोसेस. भितरले 54,142 तेंच्यांनी एक्सेप्ट केलें. कितें म्हणून आपूण प्रायवेट जॉब करता आनी आतां म्हाका गव्हर्मेंट जॉब जाय म्हणून म्हाजें थंय नांव आसूं न्ही तें आमी कन्फर्म केलें. म्हणजे हितूंतले 54,000 मायनस जाले. तितूंतले परत आमी बाकीच्यांकूय फोन करप सुरू आहा. तितून फोन केले आनी तांकां विचारलें 18,264 भुरगे आपूण आपलें एज्युकेशन फुडें कंप्लीट म्हणजे ग्रॅज्युएशन करता पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएशन करता. 18,264 हे सगळे काडल्या उपरांत आमचें उरता 87,270. आतां 87,270 हातूंतलेय बी सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट करपी भुरगे आसा. हातूंतलेय बी जे गव्हर्मेंटात ऑलरेडी जॉब मेळ्ळो जे कॉन्ट्रॅक्टाचेर आसा तेंच्यांनी आपलें नांव डिलीट कर म्हणून सांगूंक ना. आमकांच फोन करून विचारचो पडटा तुका जॉब. आतां आमी तो डेटा जो आसा पळय न्ही तो डेटा सेंटराचेर घेवन व्हेरीफाय करपाक घेतला. गव्हर्मेंटाक नोकरी लागल्या तेय वयतली ऑलरेडी डेटा सेंटराचेर गेला. म्हणजे हितून जर गव्हर्मेंटात तो टेम्पररी आसा किंवा गव्हर्मेंटात परमनंट आसा जाल्यार हो फिगर जो आहा पळय न्ही हो फिगर आतां ऑलमोस्ट 30 ते 35 हजाराचेर येवपाक जाय म्हाजो अंदाज आसा. ताजेर आमी वर्किंग करता. आतां दुसरें तेणी CMI जी सांगली पळय न्ही ही गव्हर्मेंट बॉडी न्ही किंवा खंयचीच न्ही इट इज अ सर्वे करपी एक एजन्सी. तांच्यांनी कदाचित एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीचोय घेतला सर्वे आनी सकाळी फुडें जे नोकरी जाय म्हणून उबे आसता सगळ्याक पळय
स्टॅटिस्टिक्सान फिगर दिला.
तो प्लॅनिंग एंड स्टॅटिस्टिक्सान एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीचो फिगर दिला. ओके
That you are 3.2% over 9.7.
स्पीकर सर हो फिगर दिल्लो आसा. हांव परत सांगता.
Speaker sir, हांव घाता figure.
तूं म्हाका दाखय.
Planning and statistics has said that you are 3.2% more than the national average.
स्पीकर सर तो CMIचे सांगता. तांच्यांनी जे सांगला तो CMIचे सांगला. हांव तेतूर येता. स्पीकर सर परत ताणें जें सांगलें पळय न्ही आमचो लेबर एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिनिस्टरान इन डिटेल स्टॅटिस्टिक्स तांकां कितले आमी जॉब फेर लायल्या उपरांत नोकरी ऑफर कितल्या जाणांक दिली ती ऑफरूय तेणी सांगली. 2,120 लोकांक ऑफर दिल्ली आसा तो सांगलें. ताज्या भायर आमी आमच्या स्वयंपूर्ण गोवा प्लॅनिंग एंड स्टॅटिस्टिक्स हेच्या अंतर्गत करियर गायडन्स प्रोग्राम घेवपाक सुरवात केल्या. फाटले 2 करियर गायडन्स जे आसा पळय न्ही हांव पर्सनली डायरेक्ट भुरग्यां वांगडा उलयलां. ताज्या उपरांत आमचे एक्सपर्ट म्हणजे शेनवारचे जे आसा न्ही वॉट नेक्स्ट आफ्टर 10th आनी वॉट आफ्टर 12th आनी वॉट आफ्टर ग्रॅज्युएशन ह्या प्रोग्रामाचेर आमचो डायरेक्टर ऑफ हायर एड्युकेशन आनी डायरेक्टर ऑफ एड्युकेशन म्हणजे तांकां करियर गायडन्स मार्गदर्शन करपा खातीर तूं म्हणटा तशें तेंच्यांनी कितें करचें कसले प्रोग्राम घेवचे हाजेरूय आमी इन डिटेलान जे आसा पळय न्हू हें डिस्कस केलां उलयलां. आतां आमचो बाब मायकल उलयतालो पळय न्ही बाब मायकलान सांगलें कार्पेंटर आसपाक जाय स्किल्ड वर्क आसपाक जाय पेंटर आसपाक जाय प्लंबर आसपाक जाय. हे सगळे कोर्स आमच्या ITAत आमी शिकयता वीच इज अ 1 year ITI कोर्स. आनी एका इयर ITRच्या कोर्साच्या उपरांत आमी जो एप्रेंटिशीप प्रोग्राम सुरवात केलो त्या एप्रेंटिशीप प्रोग्रामांतल्यान निलेशान सांगलां तशें 15,000 भुरगे जॉयन जाले. 9,000 इन द गव्हर्मेंट सेक्टर आनी उरलेले 6,000 इन द प्रायवेट सेक्टर. एका वर्सा खातीर तांकां 8,000 10,000 14,000 असो तांकां स्टायफंड. कित्या खातीर हें तर वर्क कल्चर डेव्हलप जावचो म्हणून हें सुरवात केलें. हाज्या भायर आमी सगळ्या इंडस्ट्रीज एसोसिएशनाच्या बरोबर टायप केला. सगळे जाण ताका आपल्या कडेन एप्रेंटिशिपाकूय दवरून घेता आनी जेणे करून ते जे आसा पळय हें कंटिन्यू करता. येता फाटल्या 15th जुलय हो आमचो स्कील डे आशिल्लो आनी खंयच्या पद्दतीच्यो स्कील म्हणून हांवें सांगलें कला अकादमीच्या भायल्या कॉम्प्लेक्सान आमी एक एक्झिबिशन लायलें. रिपोर्टरांनी सगळ्यांनी पळयलां वॉट टायप्स ऑफ स्कील फ्रॉम 9th स्टँडर्ड ऑनवर्ड्स तांच्या मदीं हॅबीट क्रिएट जावची म्हणून म्हणजे ह्यो सगळ्यो ब्युटी पार्लर पासून ते टर्नर आनी मेकॅनीक हे सगळें एक्झिबिशन लायिल्लें आनी ते टायपचे कोर्सीस जे आसा पळय न्ही ते ITAंतल्यान आमी सुरू केला. आतां आमी ITI इन हॉस्पिटेलिटी आमी जे तुमी हॉटेल लायनीचे जे उलयता पळय न्ही ते भुरगे हॉटेलांनी जॉयन जावपाक जाय म्हणून हो नवीन कोर्स हो आमी इंट्रोड्यूस केला जेणे करून ताज्या बरोबर टायअप केला. आनी ताज्या बरोबर टायअप करता आसतना 6 म्हयने प्रॅक्टिकल ITI शिकोवपाचे आनी 6 म्हयने ताज्यातल्या त्या इंटर्नशीप म्हणटा तशें तांच्या हॉटेलांत. सेम वे आमची हॉनरेबल फायनान्स मिनिस्टर श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारामन हांच्यांनी इंटर्नशीप हो नवीन प्रोग्राम आमी जसो एप्रेंटिशीप पोरू खूब मोठ्या प्रमाणात केलो. ऑन द सेम लायन तेंच्यांनी इंटर्नशीप प्रोग्राम जो आसा पळय न्ही हो इंट्रोड्यूस केलो. मिनिमम टू मिनिमम 5,000 रुपीज पर मंथ. ओके, इट इज शिकता आसतना तूं तोंड वांकडें करूं नाका. शिकता आसतना शिकोवन जाल्या उपरांत न्ही, कारण थंयसर फुकट घेवपाची संवय जाल्ली आहा म्हणून सांगलें हांवें. त्या ती हे जे आसा पळय ताका इंटर्नशीप प्रोग्राम इंट्रोड्यूस केलो. 1 crore ऑफ द यूथ हे वायल डुईंग द स्टडी दे विल टेक द इंटर्नशीप प्रोग्राम आनी ते स्किलींग रिस्किलींग अपस्किलींग जे म्हणटा पळय न्हू ते करतले. ताज्या भायर प्लस पॉयंट म्हणजे CSRांतल्यान तांकां वन टायम 6,000 रुपया त्या युथाक एकदां दिवप. हे कंपनीचो जो CSR आसा तांकां डायरेक्टली म्हणजे एटलिस्ट द 50 lakhs रुपीज ऑफ द CSR डायरेक्टली दे कॅन यूज फॉर दीस टायप ऑफ यूथ. डायरेक्टली तांकां हेका लागून एक वर्क कल्चर जो आसा पळय न्ही गोंयांत न्ही देशांत बरो वर्क कल्चर हो डेवलप जातलो. खूब भुरगे खूब मोठ्या प्रमाणात फुडें शिकपाक लागतले. आतां हे सगळें करतना आमी वेगवेगळे म्हणजे MOUs आनी हे ते आमी सगळ्यां कडेन सुरवात केल्या. दुसरी गजाल हांव एकूच ॲड करता. म्हणजे गव्हर्मेंटात ऑलरेडी एक GR काडलो नवीन. कितें म्हणून तर एक्सपिरियन्स इज कंपल्सरी. आतां एक्सपिरियन्स खंयचें कंपल्सरी? तूं फाल्यां सकाळी तर आतां नवीन जे पोस्ट येता फॉर द MTS आनी LDC ताज्या खातीर 1 वर्साचो एक्सपिरियन्स हो कंपल्सरी आहा. तो खंयचो? फक्त गव्हर्मेंटांतलो न्ही, प्रायवेट सॅक्टरांत सुद्दां तुवें जॉब केल्लो, MTS म्हणून आसूं न्ही, क्लार्क म्हणून आसूं न्ही, LDC म्हणून आसूं न्ही, कॉम्प्युटर ऑपरेटर म्हणून आसूं न्ही, कितेंय तो एक्सपिरियन्स सुद्दां गव्हर्मेंटाक एक्सपिरियन्स म्हणून लागतलो. म्हणून तूं म्हणटा तशें भुरगे शिकोन घरा कडेन बेकार रावचे ना. निदान आपल्याक एप्रेंटिशीप सर्टिफिकेट सुद्दां एक्सपिरियन्स म्हणून कन्सिडर केली वतली. एक्सपिरियन्स सर्टिफिकेट ताज्या भायर कन्सिडर केली वतली. म्हणून तो एक्सपिरियन्स जो आसा पळय न्ही हो ताज्या खातीर हो उपयोगी ठरतलो. आनी तेच कन्सिडर करून आमी एकंदर जे आसा पळय न्ही वर्क कल्चर कशें वाडचें आनी चडांत चड मोठ्या प्रमाणात आमचें एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज म्हणजे जेन्ना आमी ऑलरेडी आतां बाकीच्या कंपनींक स्ट्रिक्ट आनी टायटनेस हांव फार्मा एसोसिएशनच्या बरोबरूय मिटींग केली. ऑल द इंडस्ट्रीज एसोसिएशन हांच्या बरोबर टायम टू टायम आमचो इंडस्ट्रीज मिनिस्टर हांव किंवा लेबर एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिनिस्टर तांच्या कडेन उलोवपाक सुरवात केल्या. जेणे करून मॅक्झिमम लोक जे आसा गोंयकार कशे घेवचे हे तेंच्या कडेन आमी कम्युनिकेट करीत आसा. बट ताकाच लागून म्हणजे आमी जशें म्हटलां की तांचे आतां डायरेक्ट कॅन्डिडेट स्पॉन्सर्ड करप खंयच्याय कंपनीक डायरेक्ट ती सिस्टम जी आसा पळय न्ही ती ऑनलायन म्हणजे तुवें जें म्हटलां काय न्ही तांचे जर वॅकन्सीज आसत जाल्यार ऑनलायन तेच्यांनी आमच्या पोर्टला वयल्यान चूज करून तांकां डायरेक्ट इंटरव्यूक आफोवप हे ऑलरेडी प्रॅक्टीस सुरवात केली. म्हणजे वी हॅव आमचो पोर्टल जो आसा पळय न्ही एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीचो हो डायरेक्टली कंपनीक ताजी लिंक दिल्या. म्हणून तुमकां जे क्वॉलिफायड इफ सपोज समवन वॉन्ट्स द BSc इन केमिस्ट्री जाल्यार दे कॅन डायरेक्टली कॉल द BSc केमिस्ट्री. म्हणजे एडवर्टायजमेंट करिनासतर सुद्दां आमच्या एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजीच्या पोर्टला वयल्यान तांच्यांनी भुरग्यांक डायरेक्टली कॉल करपाक जाता, तांच्यांनी इंटरव्यूक आफोवपाक जाता. हाजें प्रोविजन जें आसा पळय न्ही ऑलरेडी आमच्या एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंजींतल्यान केलां आनी ते मॅक्झिमम भुरग्यांक आतां कॉलूय करतात आनी त्या पद्दतीन इंटरव्यू घेतात. हाज्या पलीकडे अशा पद्दतीन वेगवेगळ्या पद्दतीन सरकाराचो प्रयत्न चल्ला की मॅक्झिमम गोंयकार यूथ जो आयदर गोंयांतल्या आसलेल्या इंडस्ट्रियल डेव्हलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशनांत आसलेली फार्मा इंडस्ट्री किंवा बाकीच्यो सगळ्यो इंडस्ट्री हातूंत एकोमोडेट करपा खातीर आमची तयारी आसा. लास्ट वयता आसतना हांव एकूच सांगता, बाब वेन्झीन सांगलें की आपूण कॅप्टन म्हटल्या उपरांत आपूण सगळे ऑफिसीस हांगा हाडटा, तूं ऑफिसीस हाड, वेलकम, हांव तांकां जागो दिवपाचें प्रोविजन करता. तूं गोंयच्या भुरग्यांक तूं बाणावलेच्या लाय आनी आमच्या मडगांवांतल्याय लाय, बट लावप गरजेचें आसा. तुजी ऑफिसीस हाड, गोंयांत तांकां जागोय दिता. कारण तूं बोटीचो कॅप्टन आनी तो प्लेनाचो कॅप्टन म्हटल्या उपरांत सगळ्यांची ऑफिसीस सुद्दां हांगा घातल्या जाता. आमी सगळ्या जाणांक
दोतरान बरी सारकी पार्थ सांगिल्ली ती आतेसो हांव कित्याक सांगता बिकॉज आय एम रिडींग फ्रॉम द प्लॅनिंग एंड स्टॅटिस्टिक्स डेव्हलपमेंट स्टॅटिस्टिक मिनिस्ट्री नाव. Speaker sir, as per periodic labor force survey released by the Union Ministry of Statistics and Program and Implementation, your single engine, Goa's unemployment rate is the second highest in the country. This survey was released on October 9, 2023 by the Union Ministry. Planning and Statistics website allan उलयता हांव. स्पीकर सर, मुखेलमंत्री इतलो सारको हें जाला सर, जोरकोटीक आतां सारकी बॉलिंगा आतां. पयलीं मातशें टॅबलेट उडयतालो आनी सर बॅटिंग करूंक दिना, हें कितें जोरकोट घाता बॉलो. स्पीकर सर, if you look, it says that Lakshadweep has the highest unemployment rate, followed by Goa. हे तुगेले इंजिन सांगता मुखेलमंत्री बाप हे कितें सांगता तूं हांकां सारकें हें पण तूं फिगर इज हांवूय मागीर चिंतपा लागलो हें कितें काम हें तुगेले डबल इंजिन जें आहा वयलें तेंच सांगता.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Chief Minister has already replied. Honorable Member.
Actually, they have given only 2,505. IPB had proposed 24,300 jobs. Actually, they have given only 2,505 jobs. And it is good. Shri CMan सांगले ते internship दिलती. It is very good.
Now we will
आमगे
take up
India Airlines आगे जो manifesto
Honorable
आलो,
member.
तितू तू काढून केल तुम्ही, which is very good.
Honorable
Congratulations
member.
तुमका. आमगे copy केल तुम्ही India Airlines आचे. बरी गजाल.
Honorable Minister, now we will take up the group of demands listed for today.
Because, sir, on the recommendation of the Honorable Governor, I would like to move demand number 13, 19 and 31. The demand is put voting of, no, I put the demands before the House, Speaker, sir.
The demands are before the House. Shri Yuri Alimau to move the cut motions.
Speaker, I would like to move the cut motions listed against my name in the circulated list number 5.
Shri Venzi Vegas.
Speaker, sir, I would like to move the cut motions listed against my name in the circulated list number 5.
Cruz Silva.
I would like to move the cut motion listed against my name in the circulated list number 5.
Shri Carlos Ferreira.
Sir, I would like to move the cut motions listed against my name in the circulated list number 5.
Shri Viresh Burkar.
So I would like to move the cut motion listed against my name in the circulated list number 5.
The cut motions are before the House. Before everybody starts speaking, I would request each member to kindly curtail your demands within 5 minutes. And Honorable, no, let me complete. Honorable member, please sit down.
Okay.
To please curtail to 5 minutes. And please put your demands forward. There seems to be more storytelling here than the actual demands. So I would request each and every member to please be specific with the demands and do not waste the time of the House. Shri Carlos Ferreira.
Honorable Speaker, I don't think 5 minutes I'll be able to justice.
It is not referred to the opposition.
Brief. I will not.
It is only for the ruling.
Okay, fine.
Ruling is on a strict diet. Dietaचे गायला तुवें strict diet. Ruling memberank दोतोर मरतो dietaचे गायला.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to support my cut motions and oppose the demands. I'm speaking on demand number 13, 19 and 31. As far as the demand on transport is concerned, demand number 13, the first thing I want to point out is speed governors in renter cars. We find that tourists are speeding, they are turning turtles in the vehicle. You can't turn turtle if a vehicle is moving slow. So it is definitely they have been driving very fast and in a rash and negligent manner. Under section 110, 1F of the Motor Vehicles Act, it empowers the government to make rules for regulating construction and equipment of motor vehicles. And because of this, Honorable Speaker, the Government of India has brought out rules, which is Rule 118, which contains provisions relating to speed governor. In 2015, the Government of India gave particulars of which vehicles were supposed to have speed governors, and they tried to bring an exemption. And then in 2017, they withdrew the exemption. The Supreme Court Committee on Road Safety Monitoring immediately directed that mandating the speed limit equipment to be, devices to be fitted. And in this, I have seen that we have people who drive as if they come for races, either on highways, village roads, or even on the bridges when we see them driving at very, very obnoxious speeds. And I think, therefore, it is imperative that the government should implement and enforce the speed governor rule. It is not simply fitting them, because sometimes you have a certificate that it has been fitted, but after that, they are disconnected and they continue to ply as if there is no speed governor. I am also told that certain speed governors, after fitment, after they are connected, still malfunction. My question is, what do you do to ensure this? Because this relates to safety of our passengers, safety of people walking on the road, safety of commuters, and safety of other vehicles. The second thing we have got is tourists who drive rashly, doing stunts and driving on beaches. I think first thing the government should do is direct these people who are giving these vehicles, rent-a-cars on hire, to have a list of do's and don'ts, because most of the people don't know. They just come, they have a license, and they don't know where they're supposed to go and where they're not supposed to go. If they're told about it, I think at least 50% of them will try to follow. But there's another thing. Unless you wield the stick, no one complies. And therefore, I believe, if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Therefore, it is important that we should ensure that these vehicles which are driving, these rent-a-car vehicles, should be penalized with heavy penalties, including jail penalties, because if they are made to stay one day or one night in the jail, nobody will want to spend their holiday in a jail. And therefore, I believe that when you are rough and you are tough, you are bound to get action which they will make sure they comply. Is it not surprising that when our very same people who travel abroad, they drive vehicles abroad, they follow every rule in the book. They are so disciplined. But when they come here into India, they drive as if there is no tomorrow. Therefore, I believe that we have to be tough with them. Invariably, the owner ends up being summoned by the police. The owner is also being made liable along with this driver who disappears from the scene. And at the end, the owner suffers because his vehicle is damaged or completely destroyed. We also have cases of drunken driving. Now in drunken driving, it is twofold. One is the tourists who drive these cars, and also our own locals. Let us be honest about it. I had spoken about this drunken driving in the House, and I had pointed out that we need to enforce this rule to prevent drunken driving so that we don't have these accidents and fatalities on these roads. Imagine, I remember there was an incident where in a famous pub in Kandolim beach, a lady sat in the car completely drunk, started the car and just drove and knocked somebody down there. This is not, we don't send people, our children don't go out there to get knocked down by some drunken driver. And we don't want this to happen. And I had stated to this House, I made a suggestion, that when you're having these pubs operating in the night, you know you're giving them the excise license beyond certain hours for a fee, no problem. You also make sure that they pay a fee to keep your motor vehicle inspectors or police so that you man this and make sure that these people are checked for alcohol. This does happen even in other parts of India, in Bangalore or in Bombay, wherever you go in Delhi. There are police waiting outside the pub. You sit in the steering and they'll catch you. Ahead also they will check you. Otherwise, they feel that they are empowered and they are charged. And now I can stand on one leg. They can't even turn the wheel of that car. And they will hit somebody even at a start. So I believe that the government should be tough. Don't forgive anyone. Let him spend one night also in the jail. And nobody will then do it. Because they tell you, you look at it, go to any other place, they tell you, oh, the police is very strict. So they will go in a group. One doesn't drink, the others may drink. And that sober person is the one who will be the one who drives. There's one more thing which I want to point out to the August House, is that there is a provision in the Motor Vehicles Act. The provision in the Motor Vehicles Act was introduced by the 2019 amendment. And I will pass a copy of this to the Honorable Minister. It is section 210D. It is a very, very good move which was brought in by the central government. I'm giving just the relevant page because the whole gazette is not needed. In this, there is a provision. First, it's 210C speaks about the central government, which may make rules for design, construction and maintenance standards for national highways. That does not come into you. But 210D is for the state government. And I'll read this. The state government may make rules for design, construction and maintenance standards for roads other than national highways and for any other matter which is or may be prescribed by the state government. Now, I want to bring this to the notice of the Honorable House, that when this section was introduced, when this amendment was introduced, the Honorable Union Minister himself said, we are bringing this to make these contractors accountable so that we have good quality roads. And therefore, I believe we must have a shift in our thought process. It will take resistance, I warn the Honorable Minister. It may be resistance which may come from another department, but I think you must enforce this because statutorily the duty is cast upon you to frame these rules, because it speaks about the transport department making 210D, it is. I've ticked that there. And it speaks about state government making rules for roads other than national highways. Do you see that? I'll just read again. The state government may make rules for design, construction and maintenance standards for roads and other national highways, other than national highways, and for any other matter which is or may be prescribed by the state government. And I say why? Construction, let the PWD do. I'm not saying you become a construction company or an agency, but you have to give the direction, because you will know where accidents take place. You know where speed limits are required to be maintained. The PWD doesn't know. The PWD will come and install a board. You will know from your feedbacks, the moment you all get in your systems about vehicle damages, insurance claims, and the police are the other ones who come to know about these things. And that is how you start identifying black spots and all other things, and therefore you control traffic at these places. But if we have bad roads, I think this will be a major problem for us. The Union Minister, the Honorable Union Minister of Transport, Mr. Gadkari, himself said very recently, I'll pass this down, one for the Honorable Speaker and one for the Honorable Minister. He even went a step further to say engineers to be held accountable, face action for any pothole on national highways. So please understand this. If you are strict, then you can take action. Of course, I will bring to the notice of this Honorable House that when such kind of action came before the Kerala High Court, the judge himself said that you need to make sure that the engineers go on the road and do these works, not sit in their office, because unless they're physically present, they don't know what's to be done. Now, I'm going to deal with a controversial topic, that is tourist taxis and app aggregators. I know this is a very controversial topic, and our local taxi is often called mafia. But if you remember, before these aggregators came in, our local taxis were very much loved by domestic tourists and international foreign tourists. They would even contact them back and they would book them again and again. There's also a sense of belonging, a sense of familiarity, and a familial relationship which is developed between these people, the customers and the taxi owner. They are almost like a family relationship. And that is why the system and the tourism was going well. I don't know when it started going bad, but now with the app aggregator coming in, with great respect, I remember strong battles being made, strong opposition being made. Remember one thing, there are some black sheep in every family, in every profession, including our legal profession. There are black sheep, I don't say no. But just because of a handful, you don't kill the entire industry. And therefore, I want to point out that when there is a tourist taxi, that was called tourist taxi in those days, Now they are called some different word, I will tell you what they are called. But tourist taxi, they need a badge. For a badge, you need 15-year domicile. You need a police clearance certificate. You also need a character certificate and 8th standard pass. If you need your 15-year domicile over here, you definitely cannot have somebody who's from out, because unless that person satisfies the domicile requirement. But these app aggregators, large number of their drivers, to our understanding is, they are employing non-Goans who don't have the badge. There are a few of ours, the local taxi owners also, who have employed such people, but I say we should enforce this rule across the board. Doesn't matter even if it is at the cost of these people, but everyone must be uniform across the board to have this badge, and without a badge, you should not be able to sit on the steering wheel of such vehicles. My feedback has been that if a vehicle, a taxi, which is with a Goa Miles or these step app aggregators, then what happens is that police or whoever the RTO says, oh, I'm from this Goa Miles, after a little detention, they are let off, as if they are above board, above law. So I believe that you need to have strict enforcement of the rule to ensure that our people get the benefit and there is no such type of flow. Second part is identification of this app aggregator. If you go out of Goa, you see this Ola, you see Uber, whatever is mentioned, on the taxi it is there. But here our taxi drives without you don't know whether he is of A company or B company of the aggregator. He just keeps going. And if he just bluffs that he belongs to that, you have to so believe it. Therefore, I believe that let them be identified. And for another reason, I will tell you. What they do is, there is no stand for these vehicles, but they come into the villages and hang outside these guest houses or outside the hotels. And they wait there after dropping the passenger and they strike a deal. You call me, I'll be outside. And then directly on a call, they pick up that same passenger and they keep going. So they used it for the first trip, and thereafter they keep recurring to get this, and the aggregator is left out. I'm not arguing in favor of an aggregator, but pointing out how this kills the local tourist taxi business, which is operating in our own villages. Now, why are our people being called mafia? Because it's generally relating to the fees which are being charged or the rates which are being charged. First thing I want to point out, these app aggregators focus mostly on the coastal belt or in places where there is large business. They don't go into the hinterland unless occasionally. I have also got complaints of people saying that when they book and they are called, they don't want to take trips where there's no return trip. So therefore they cancel it. An app aggregator like Goa Miles has got an app on which you have an option of vehicles. And then when you have an option of vehicles, one such vehicle is an SUV, but they don't have SUVs. They give you a different vehicle, like an Innova or something else will come. The SUV character, this goes for a Bolero, a Scorpio. So you have already paid, you get another one, you don't think what really happened, but in the process you have lost. So please understand this. Second, you have to pre-book. There is an option for post-payment, post-trip payment, but you have to have a minimum 350 into their account, which means if money of yours will be cut, you like it or not. As if they will blame you, you fight in the court. You have no time for this. The question now is, I have heard sometimes even the government says, oh, they are offering cheaper rates. Yes, and I know under Motor Vehicles Act there is a provision where you can offer any amount which is less than the notified rate. If that is so, that means that a contractual rate which you can agree. If it is so, I don't mind when an individual taxi does that with a customer. You may say, I will take your taxi for 5 days and therefore I will charge you this lesser rate, but not higher than the prescribed notified rate. But if your Goa miles, which came along with some Goa taxi patron or something like that, when you have this, because that is now become part of Goa miles, when you are having this in collaboration with a state agency, which is the GTDC, that means the government is promoting Goa miles. And if the government is promoting this app aggregators, it means that the government, being in the dominant position, is allowing unfair competition. When you allow such unfair competition, do you call these other people who charge as per the rate a mafia? I want this to be made clear, because if you have cases of overcharging, let there be a written complaint, let action be taken, suspend that vehicle and take action as fit by law. But simply making allegations because they charge you the notified rate, that becomes the problem. And therefore, the public perception is that these are mafia because you say that they are mafia, but not telling what is being done. I will tell the Honorable Speaker that when this Goa Miles was being introduced, I remember that many of the taxi people came and saw me because they were not happy with this introduction. I remember at that time Goa Miles was being offered a lot of incentives and discounts, including not payment of a fee for 1 year. And I remember Michael Lobo himself espousing the cause of the local taxi drivers, and he was working very hard. He continues, I know, even to this day, to espouse their cause. But unfortunately, the government of the day ran over us and allowed them to come in. I have no problem about it. But there is another thing which happened. Parallelly, a petition was filed before the Competition Commission of India in Delhi, where some of our taxi owners were hauled up there, including a priest who was supporting the local community. We had to engage lawyers, I had to draft replies, and we finally, at the end of the day, we succeeded. We got it thrown out. I asked this one question to the government. Just because they were opposing, you ran to commission, you didn't, but a petition was filed before the Competition Commission. What you do today, with your dominant role and virtually threatening and pressurizing the local taxi, don't you think this is unfair trade practice where you need to be hauled up along with these app aggregators before Competition Commission? I think we need to look into this. And I say there's also one more issue which comes up. Many people don't know. These app aggregators have got something known as a dynamic rating. Dynamic rate. When it rains, the charge goes up. When it is time, when schools are left, then the offices people are going home, instead of making less, they make it higher. So it fluctuates. For the same distance, depending on the demand, if the demand goes up, the rate goes up. It's something inverse, which I normally thought when you have a high demand, rate falls, but it goes up and sometimes not available. So how does the government think of attending to this kind of situations? And then booking of the vehicles, I've already mentioned about it. Just another 3 minutes I will run. There is taxi stands for the hotels. When the taxis had started in the beginning with business, that time they were being told if you want permit to run a business at a hotel, then you have an NOC. So like the hotel itself will say, okay, 5 taxis, 10 taxis, and they used to have a queue system. Without that NOC, you could not get a permit. Unfortunately, that is now been done away. And now you call what I said now is motor cabs. And under the scheme of motor cabs, this NOC is not being asked for. And that is what we are hearing, fights, and sometimes guests being affected. And I actually feel very bad when I see that, because I don't believe we should have a negative perception across the world, because Goa is very famous international tourist destination. And if we have this kind of things happening, in the process, the tourist gets confused, the tourist is scared, the tourist is frightened, the tourist may leave and never come again. We don't want these kind of things. Finally, even these hotels are built here to boost our economy and to provide jobs for our people. But if they are going to start providing jobs for these people, then what happens to the fate of the locals over there? I think the government needs, whatever view you may have, whatever I may have expressed, I still said I'm putting my points across, but I would request the government, call them to the negotiating table. I know sometimes some are little hot-headed and some are very, they don't change their mind. We can try to sit down with reason. And I think if the government can invite the people, we can have a happy resolution in this behalf. If you remember, there was once a telecom company, I won't have to name it here. The telecom company came in giving free service to everybody. And everybody started running and subscribing to it. Then it gave, after 1 year, they said very minimum charges. After the minimum charges, a little minimum more. And finally, they're market-dominating players. This is the way, if you remember in history, how merchants became rulers in India. They came simply for trading and ended up being rulers in our nation. So I think we need to attend to this and quickly intervene so that we can have a good resolution. I also have learned one more thing, that drivers from neighboring states of Goa have approached the Chief Minister or the government to allow their drivers with their badges to be employed in Goa. I request the government of Goa not to allow this, otherwise we will have others coming and our locals losing their scope for employment. On the second aspect I just want to speak about it is on the meter renewal fees. When the meters were being installed, I was there myself, we were opposing it at that time, and such expensive meters, and now the renewal fee is coming to 4,500 a year, which is the cost of another meter. So I think the government needs to ask these companies, because after having given certain companies the exclusive privilege, I think you ask them to give a discounted rate and not to have such high rates. But they're being charged for it. As far as KTC is concerned, I have this thing in particular. It's an aged fleet. And I know the Honorable Minister is making something to have an environment-friendly type of these EV buses. But those EV buses don't come into our villages with the narrow roads. And when we had requested for change of the bus, you all were gracious enough to give me one EV vehicle. But unfortunately, what happened was in the narrow roads of Britona, Ekoshi, Pomurpa, that side, the bus touched somebody's tiles. Those people came out, stopped the bus, beat up the driver, and the conductor was pulled, and then they said, we are not coming again. So I don't want those buses. Please give us some regular buses which fit on those roads, because those buses are really big. Keep them on the highway, keep them where there are broad roads, but don't give where they will end up getting beaten. Please, another 2 minutes, because there's so many things are there here. I don't like to cut short. And other thing is, we have a bus which leaves from Panchayat, going through Sukor, coming into Ukasai, Bastora, going to Mapsa. This is one bus I have to make one special mention, because it breaks down frequently. There's no replacement. There's no one telling what is happening. And people who have gone get inconvenienced. People who are waiting don't get a bus. And so many times we have to phone them up asking, where's the bus? Why is the bus not come? It has broken down. I request the Honorable Minister to kindly just look into this, because I generally don't have other complaints, but this is one which goes along a big route, and I think we should look into it. Bus stops are very pathetic, and I think we need to ensure that we need some benches, we need even the roof. Some of them don't even have the roofs. As far as KTC drivers are concerned, I think you all have already got a representation from the KTC drivers of the arrears of 7th pay commission. And there was a settlement which was done, and it says there, I'll only read paragraph 9 of that settlement. It is agreed by the employer that those workmen who have either expired, superannuated, terminally ill or disabled after 1/1/2016 till 31st October 2018, 2016 is that, and 31st October is your date when you all agreed, shall be eligible to all arrears payable as and when decided on approval given by the state government. Therefore, it requires your approval. I would request these people, they get very small amounts, but even that may be a financial burden, I understand, but I request, please pay them. I know of certain cases of Kadamba ex-employees getting 1,000 rupees as pension, which is very, very poor, very meager. Another thing now I want to speak on is about the panchayats. Panchayats GIA grants have been reduced, and I think that the minister should try to make a demand to get higher amounts, because otherwise a panchayat will hardly end up getting 10 lakhs in a year, and we should not be sufficient to do any work in the panchayat. Second is the timely payment of amounts to a panchayat. Please make sure the payments are made. And one major thing I want to speak is about the transfer of panchayat secretaries. We have in Bastora, I think it's something unique, where we have a magnetic secretary. Why I use the word magnetic is because after transfer, this secretary comes back, because I know only magnets have that power of attraction. And this magnetic secretary has been there for 9 years. I had brought it to the attention of the government in 2023, and the government was pleased to transfer the secretary. But magnetic powers that this secretary has, I don't know what is the fatal attraction, because you know a magnet cannot work on a singular this thing. It has to have an attraction. The other pole has to attract. Where is that pole attracting? I don't know. But I think this, I request 9 years is a long time. Why you want to come back? What is your personal interest in the matter? If you love to sit in one post, naturally suspicions arise. And then your behavior also changes. And that is why people came to me and told me about these issues. I want to just point out one small thing. This I won't talk totally in detail, but I'll just pass this across. These are just suggestions. Copy. One copy, Hercules. One copy for the Honorable Speaker, one for the Minister. Honorable Speaker, there is one thing I want to point out to the Honorable Minister. I'm making little suggestions, because I've just given you your chart, so you don't have to take notes. It is only a request for increment of expenditures, because I put what is existing on one side and what is a proposed revision on the other side. So if you can look into it, because this has financial implications, I don't want immediately you say, yes, I will do, but you can just look into this, so that including increasing of the staff, please look at the item number 2, because how much staff we got. Because today you're asking, fill online things, computerize, submit these reports. It becomes very difficult with the existing strength of the staff, including computer operators which are needed, posts to be created. Otherwise, it becomes very, very difficult for panchayats. They will have to work till 10 o'clock in the night, and they are not accustomed, they will not be able to do that. Other thing is, now last thing I want to talk is about industries. I know that Honorable Minister has the power of bringing good industries into Goa. And when I mean good, I talk of good non-polluting industries. And I've seen his efficiency in the manner in which he will communicate effectively. And so therefore, I would appeal to him that get good industries, because I think our industries are moving out of Goa. And therefore, I think that we should try to bring some better incentives and attractions which we can. If you remember, industrial what's that called? The IDC Act has a provision, I think section 34 or something like that, which exempts requirements of village panchayats from having to give any say or NOCs and all that, because you're the one who gives everything at your level. So, and you collect the fees. So, see, these kind of things by which it becomes like a single window, so that you can process everything at your level. Let everything in the industry be controlled by you at your level. Let it not go. You can even have, let us say, even if you have to go to some factories or something, let it be all inbuilt into your thing, so that you can get everything done. And this way you, like how you see other states running, inviting investors, big investors, I think we can do that, and I'm confident you'll be able to achieve these targets. Other thing is the Investment Promotion Board. I only appeal to the Honourable Minister, let the Investment Promotion Board not be a route to allow people to dabble into real estate, or to allow people to propose projects, get them cleared, and then propose them to sale to somebody else. because I think this is what is going on. You may not realize it, but you may realize when it's going in for a transfer, or you allow somebody by a proxy to start running that establishment for which it is, because the question comes is, how many have you cleared and how many have been set up? Then you'll come to know what really is going on, whether those procurements of the approvals were only with an intention of placing it on a platform, like you get a town planning approval and I sell your project. So I think that these are the major issues on which I am talking, and I request the government to kindly look into it. Just one thing, I just want to see if I've forgotten anything. There is one last issue I just want to say. I know that there has been a petition in the High Court relating to Gram Sevaks functioning as Panchayat secretaries, because there are two different kind of posts. But having appointed Gram Sevaks as Panchayat secretaries, and for several years they have functioned as such, and I think that the government can consider whether you will can amalgamate both these posts. I think that will be something far better, so that those people don't go, because after having served, have experience, so I think that government can think of rationalizing that. I'm obliged.
I request, we will speak after your, I request each and every member to kindly put in your request now, because after 4 o'clock the system will be locked. So whoever wants to speak, kindly put in the request on your microphone. Dalal Alobo, you can speak. I'll give you, you speak 5 minutes and you can continue. Or I'll give you extra time. We'll extend now.
Speaker, sir, I'm here to support the demand listed for today. When speaking about demand number 13, transport. पहिले म्हणल्यार आमकां कितली लेटरी करून 6 म्हयने रावन after around 2 years I had got one bus, आणि ती बस थोडेच दीस येयली आणि ती बंद जाली. And when I asked why that bus has been stopped, they are telling me that कंडक्टराची शॉर्टेज हा, ती मातशें पळोवची. मारना विलेज एरियान आहली ती म्हाजी बस. Secondly, regarding our local taxi drivers, our local taxi, I would request the Honorable Minister to see that everyone follows the gazetted rate. Everyone. Maybe Goa miles आणि आहा तितले तुझे सगळ्यांनी गॅझेटेड रेट फॉलो करची. And you have to know, Honorable Speaker, आमचे हे गोंयकार ते टॅक्सी बिझनेसान हा, आणि ते क्यू सिस्टमान हॉटेलांच्या फुडल्यान असतात. I know as a hotelier how the tourism is, the occupancy, Friday, Saturday, Sunday business जाता, केन्ना केन्ना Saturday, Sunday, आणि तेही हे गोवा माइल्स येतात आणि ड्रॉप करतात आणि पिकूय करतात. I think this queue system where our local taxi people are there, the request is this Goa miles should not come and take into drop करतात ते ड्रॉप करात, ड्रॉप करून वसात. You don't come and pick from that queue system. That gazetted rate has also to be revised periodically. Why I am saying it has to be revised? आता पळय आमचे मोपा एअरपोर्टार ड्रॉपाक 200. आता टोल येयल्लो हा. Regarding the rates, tomorrow I will talk in more detail when it comes to civil aviation. But these gazetted rates have to be revised periodically. Regarding speed governance, Speaker said I would request the Honorable Minister to request all the manufacturing companies or the showrooms to lock the ACM at 80 speed, so that our taxi guys don't have to buy these speed governors of कॉस्टिंग 6,000 आनी तें जालें ताका ते स्पीड गव्हर्नर घालता ताका एक्स्ट्रा इन्शुरन्स घेवपाक पडटा. यू हॅव टू लूक इन टू दॅट ऑल्सो. रिगार्डींग डिजिटल मिटर सांगता ते 3 years पास कॉस्टिंग आहले 11,234. एवरी इयर पासिंग करपाक वयता तेन्ना
Honorable
4,600.
member, the house is extended by 5 minutes.
Yeah, every year renewal करपाक वयता तेन्ना 4,654 बरोवंक पडटा. This digital meter had 3 features. One is that GPS tracking. GPS track करपाक अजूनय कंट्रोल रूम ना. दुसरें पॅनिक बटन. आता पॅनिक बटन मारलो पासून जाल्यार तेकाय कंट्रोल रूम ना. And third is fair meter rate. That is there only. But since these 2 features are missing, I don't think this renewal fees of 4,654 has to be reduced. And there should be capping on the licenses given to this rent a bike and rent a car. My personal thing is no more licenses to be given for this rent a car and rent a bike. Speaker sir, talking about Panchayat. Increment in all the expenditure heads by 20%. Secondly, आमचे legal fees जे आहा ते it has to be increased for per panchayat at least 3 lakhs. आता तुम्ही जाणा आसतले every panchayat it goes into litigation. तुम्ही 1 lakh केल्ले हा for more than whose income is more than 5 lakhs. I mean, keep it to minimum 3 lakhs so that the panchayats are able to pay the legal fees. The clerical staff to be increased in all the village panchayats by one or two staff. Zaina, they are online. I know I used to make my librarian work for me. So Zaina te. Increase the income limit of panchayats for availing weaker panchayat grants up to 50 lakhs. Now it is 25 lakhs. The 50 lakhs are सगळे पंचायतीन ते construction licenses by येतात. त्या वर्सा घेनाल्यार घेना, but other year when their income again goes down to 25 lakhs, I mean, increase that thing to 50 lakhs. And please see that 7th pay scale is given to our panchayat staff. Regarding industries, I would request you to promote non-polluting industries, which I know you are eager in. And first preference to be given to our locals as far as employment is concerned in these non-polluting industries. And this job phase to be brought in this by these industries in the college campus. Thank you, Speaker, sir.
The house is adjourned till 4:30.